Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, today's guest, my first official interaction with her, because once I received an email about her, I felt the energy and the essence of of someone that I knew I wanted to connect with, and definitely to bring on board here on Beyond the Ordinary. And I had to be ready. I had to be ready to receive it and to interact and to be in this receptive space. Um, But when I did, and I met Fiona Paul for the first time, and we're on a Zoom call, it's like messages started to come through for me from Fiona. She couldn't help but to open her channel, and within minutes, I was in tears, feeling Christ energy, angelic realms, its masters communicating through her, and it was profound. And from that, I went in deep, and I went into a retainer where we were meeting weekly because I just knew that there was something in the resonance that was facilitating an amplification that was possible in my field by putting myself in an environment that supports that growth and to remind me and to attune me to who it is that walks with me and who it is that I can communicate with to. And that was my experience. And I know undoubtedly that is probably a similar experience for other people who have worked with Fiona. And we're going to be talking about that, the truth of you, and what it is that connects you to that reminds you to it, that gives you permission to really experience and to create from the truth of you. So it's with that I'm excited to introduce you to Fiona Paul. Fiona, welcome to the call.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for inviting me. You know how much my heart feels such love for you, and also the angelic realm. Just before we went live, they came through again because it's been a few weeks since we've connected, and the love and grace and reverence for the gift that you are. And they really wanted to really bring into an elevation to you who you truly are, and that you are such a gift. And for the people that are listening, many of us resonate with our truth, with our love, but it feels so normal and natural that we don't know how amazing we are. And like yourself, you've been put in this position it's not just by coincidence that you are where you are. It is because of your heart. It is because of your frequency that emanates off you. You are truly beautiful, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
And many people that I speak to and speak with, when they're coming through, I'm feeling it so strongly that it is coming from me. And it can make people feel a bit uncomfortable because they're receiving truths about themselves that possibly they haven't heard before. And they will keep saying to me, so the angelic realm, I speak with them seamlessly. They will keep telling me to keep saying it until we feel that it has been received. Because they never, ever say anything that isn't the truth. And they need it to be received, which is why they're giving it to you, for you to embody it and to go, yeah, I am. Actually, I am. Put your cloak on and go out there and stand on the mountaintop and shout about who you are. Everyone should be doing that because we are magnificent.
It's, the analogy that comes to me, it's the water doesn't know how wet it is, or the sun doesn't know how hot it is. It just is. And that, but again, your capacity to to communicate that for us to receive it, because it can feel like when I feel the angelic realm through you and the connection that's coming through, sometimes it feels so big that the resistance goes up. It's like there's
Yeah.
like, hold on, it's a little too much. Let me kind of breathe it in and let me see what my body can attune to. Is anybody else listening? Because I don't know. And it's just, but there's a point of surrender that it just like something cracks and something opens, and the outpouring of that, it's life-changing. Tell us how it is that you work with clients, and the shifts that you notice in them from having sessions with you. And let's clarify. So when you talk about they, the communication from that they're providing, you're talking about the angelic realm, and who else might come through?
So I have Archangel Michael on my left, and then behind him, he's like a column of white light. Behind him, so
Hmm.
when I go like this, it's because they're like, "Ooh, hello." There's multiple angelic beings behind here. And here is Yeshua. Above Yeshua is Joseph. And often Joseph will communicate through Yeshua. So Yeshua is channeling Joseph. Mary Magdalene came through a couple of years ago, and then she multiplied into 8 different Magdalenes, and they call themselves the Magdalenes of Love.
Mhm.
Um, um, the disciples can come through. Knights Templar have been coming through a lot
Mm.
recently for people.
I had an initiation with them with you. Yes.
Yeah. I had a client, um, of a current client actually of mine. When she first signed up with me, immediately when she came on, I could feel the absolute purity of this beautiful woman. And in front of her was the English rose emblem.
Mm.
And I was getting the English rose, the English rose. And she's got dark black hair, very white skin, very phenomenally powerful lady. She didn't know who she was.
Mm.
And through the process of us working together, they had said, you are, they were wanting her to go to Roslin Chapel in Scotland. And she's very much part of the angelic realm and Knights Templar. And she went, oh, I went there, 10, 15 years ago or something. They're saying, well, we really would like you to go again. And she did recently. And she walked in and she said she got hit, isn't the right word, but this powerful energy came over her and encapsulated her.
Mm.
It was so visceral. And they were saying, hello, thank you for returning. You were here when this was being built. And she sat down and, they're coming through because they're just saying thank you very much for sharing this, because there's many people listening that this will be relevant for. She sat down and channeled there, and I got her to read it to me a couple of weeks later, and she says, oh, I haven't read it back. And I was going, come on, read it. And it was so profound. It absolutely solidified to her who she was, why it was such a confirmation of going back to Roslin Chapel and feeling this energetic welcome, and that she had been there when it was, and um, when she was walking around, she knew where she had stood, and and when they were building it, and the rose line. It's just confirmation after confirmation. But what the angelic realm do is they absolutely hold you in a frequency to enable you to receive very clear images, knowings. You're held and supported, and they're showing me now in kind of like a nest that allows you to go beyond what you've currently gone to before. And it's quite funny because I always say, "Oh, I know it's been a good call" when the person cries.
But but it's profound, and I want to share a private experience that I had with Fiona. And Fiona, I think I want to go into Q&A and go into the call and Q&As. There's something in that flow that seems appropriate here. So if you guys want to ask personal questions, um, maybe hear something from your guides, raise your hand, and we're going to get into Q&A just in a little bit. Kim's already saying she's crying now. It's beautiful. You can feel, like when you said that the guides were coming in and you can feel them, my whole body was lighting up as I can feel them kind of swarming in the energy. But Fiona was in one of our sessions that we had together, she was guiding me. My mother was showing up, and it was about allowing my mother to come in more. And she wanted to come in a very deep and intimate way. And I was like, no, I'm not ready. Don't force it. Don't push it. I'm a no, 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 no. Why not? I just don't want to. I'm choosing not to. No. And those boundaries that were coming up. I didn't know I had them in that way, to be honest with you. And I've done so much healing and acceptance and reconciliation with my mother over the years that this really surprised me. But it didn't, because again, I was very aware of kind of where I stood in honor of what I believed was honor of me and reverence to me. Um, and Fiona just, we finished the call and I felt contracted. And it was a few days later that the release came. It came in through a breathing practice where I finally was able to let go of what I was holding. And I wasn't doing this intentionally. It was just the overwhelm of the overflow of the love that was pouring in. Y'all, I sobbed on my couch for a good 30 to 40 minutes. The release of that and the letting it in. And it's so powerful what comes through again when we're given the gift of being able to feel the love that we're ready to receive in whatever form or acceptance that we believe that we're holding it in. But it's so penetrative when it's that pure and that clear that the resistance that we have to it is not stronger than the authority of that love and compassion that we're ready to receive. It was profound. It was one of those life-shifting experiences in my relationship to the feminine, to my mother, to my lives as a Knight Templar and service to the feminine and the why and so many things that I can't even begin to explain or truly probably understand. But I know the profundity of it. So it was absolutely extraordinary. I'm assuming you have a lot of experiences where people are just shedding and just releasing and letting go, right?
Yeah. They like they said, they hold the frequency, they hold you in this very supportive nest.
Mm.
And they are saying now, please tell people that every bird, they told me this a long time ago, every bird is from the angelic realm, hence the feathers. And they're showing now the nest, and the nest is made of these beautiful feathers. So you're held in this supportive, beautiful container, if you like. And they do take you to places that, you might not want to go, but it's done in a very respectful, gentle way. They won't ever force you to do anything, but they'll hold the space. Just like with you and your mother, they were holding the space for you to go through the process that you were going through on the call. it's done. They're saying, well, it's done in a very angelic way. It's what they're saying.
But of course.
Of course, it's done in a very angelic way. Yeah,
It's so profound. Do you ever get surprised about what shows up?
all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Mm.
Mhm.
It's beautiful, though.
And we're gonna get into Q&A here in a second, but w- what is it that you believe that gives you the capacity to communicate with these beings in the way that you do?
Well, it started 24 years ago when I was in a really, really dark place. I was um, in a job in the corporate world, and every time I walked to the computer, I was getting like pains in my stomach, which were like food poisoning. It was so strong. And I didn't know then the phenomenal technology that we're walking around in this physical vessel, the feedback system that we have. It's so important to be in touch with yourself. And I was in a very, very low, anxious, lack of worth. I got totally disconnected from myself in this corporate world of efforting, making money, had a big mortgage, nice cars. Um, it's, the golden handcuff type thing. And then my father transitioned, and I'd had a very, I was desperate for my father to love me. And when he transitioned, I was so lost because I thought, oh, I haven't got, I've never going to get him to love me. I've lost the time to be able to get him to love me. So I was just spiraling down and down and down. And one day I was on my bed, and I'd said to my husband, I, I feel like this job is killing me. It's making me so ill. And he's like, oh my God, you can't, stop it.
Mm.
And I was in the bedroom thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And for whatever reason, but it's because I'm here to do this work, this beautiful column of white light, all the energy in the room shifted. This column of white light appeared, and slowly this form appeared in this column of white light. And it turned out to be this beautiful 10-foot tall angel in a white three-piece suit, like John Travolta off Saturday Night Fever, except he had a white shirt. And it felt absolutely normal. And we started to communicate telepathically. I haven't had any religious upbringing whatsoever. I didn't know about telepathic communication. And I was like looking at him, and I'm like, oh, hello, as if it's the most normal thing in the world. Who are you? And he says, oh, my name's Michael. And then I went to myself going, oh, he's just being kind. He doesn't want to frighten me, because aren't angels called Gabriel or something? And I've got an uncle called Michael. He's just being kind. And he went, oh, Fiona, come on. I'm going to take you on a journey. And in a flick of your fingers, we were suddenly outside the home that I'd been brought up in, that I didn't leave until I was 19. And this
Mm.
house terrified me. It had a lot of energies going on, that I now know were trying to put out my light. At the time, it was just quite terrifying. And I went, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to. And he went, come on, come on. He's up here and he's going, come on, come on. I'm your guardian. He actually said to me, I didn't know anything about Archangel Michael, took me round the side into the archway and looking down towards the vegetable patch. And there's my father walking up the garden path. He was 74 when he transitioned. He's about mid-30s, walking up the garden path with a jumper on that my grandma had knitted him. I hadn't seen for 30 odd years. And there's this little blonde girl holding his hand. And it was me.
Mm.
We were totally out of time and space. I went like this, not knowing about chakras then, but my throat chakra went really tight. Michael, who's here, he nudges me like this and I stumble forward. So my father starts to run up the path going, "You all right? You all right?" in a very broad Scottish accent, which I had never heard when he was alive, yet he was Scottish. And little me's running alongside him. And as they came to me, I'm looking at little me and my consciousness goes into little me. And I'm then looking up at me, knowing full well that I'm my future self. I can see this beautiful angel. I can see other angels. I could see the energy. I could see the energy of the house and that it was moving. I could see the totality, really, of things, and that time is an illusion because we can go into other frequencies, other dimensions. It's all malleable. I came back into my body and exchanged with her this knowing smile that she knew who I was. So advanced. So advanced. And all 4-year-olds are this advanced. You know, that is, well, they're saying it's not advanced, isn't the right word. They're saying untainted, still pure, not conditioned and layered over time. They're still the truth of who they really are. Anyway, cut a long story short, because that can go on for quite a bit. When the energetics changed and I came back into my bedroom, Michael was no longer in physical form, but he filled the room and he said, "Fiona, always come from your heart." And in that moment, I knew I had to change my job. I knew there was absolutely no thought process in it. And then what happened was I didn't tell anybody about this happening to me. I didn't think anyone would believe me. 3 weeks later, I'm still in this quandrum of, how am I going to change my job? How am I going to tell my husband? We've got this big mortgage and da-da-da. And all the energy, I'm in my bedroom and I'm actually sat on the edge of the bed at this time and I was crying. And the energy changed in the room again. And I went, "Oh, hello, here we go." It's really familiar. You feel like you're at home. And I'm sure there's many people on this call who know and have had this feeling of being in this other realm. It's very, very pure. It's very quiet. It's like there's no air, there's no oxygen, but there is. But it's like the truth of where you are. And this monk started to walk round the side of my bed. He's in a brown habit with his hood up and a rope round his waist. He walked round and knelt in front of me and started to stroke the air in front of me. And I now know he was stroking my aura. And it soothed me, it calmed me, and I stopped crying. And he stood up and took his hood back, and I'm looking at him and I'm going, "Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you." But I do feel very soothed. And I knew he was looking at me thinking, she doesn't know who I am. I've not had any religious upbringing. And I'm like, I'm ever so sorry, but it was really good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He stood to my left and the wall, my bedroom wall, opened up into this vista, and it was the country of Greece. And I could smell the heat. I could feel the heat. There were these little olive trees. There were little leaves on the ground, black olives. And over to the right, there was this row of men. Every single one of them was looking at me. And when I looked at them, there was like this download, knowing, in that moment, I instantly knew that they were the disciples. I've never read the Bible. I don't know anything about religion, but I was given that they were the disciples. I then instantly realized that this was this person called Jesus, went to fall on my knees, which is such a program that I didn't even know I was party to. He physically got hold of my forearms just before I hit the floor, basically, and stopped me from kneeling and brought me up and looked directly in my eyes and said, Fiona, you are exactly the same as me. And I now know he's saying that to everybody. The energy changed. It all just faded, and I sat back on the bed. And at that time, my self-worth was so low, I didn't think I was worth dirt on the bottom of your shoe. I had lost myself so much. And when Michael and Yeshua, as he asked to be called, came, that was 24 years ago. It has taken me 21 years to tell people that Jesus, Yeshua, came to me, because I had to get my self-worth to a place where I would allow him to channel through me. And when I eventually did allow him to channel through me, I didn't know that he had been trying to channel through me. And in that instant, I was shown how I'd been pushing him down, pushing him away. And it was in such a split second, I didn't know it was so powerful within me that I wasn't going to allow it to happen, because I didn't feel worthy of bringing him through. And when I did, it was actually in a group. I just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed, because we're so conditioned to look at something so above us. And in fact, it's not the truth. And he said, you are exactly the same as me. We are all of this essence and this frequency. We all hold the frequency of the angelic realm. They use the analogy that we can all cook, but some of us aren't here to be a chef. Mm-hmm. So for me, this step-by-step process, when I changed my career, I went to become an animal behaviorist, and I did that for 16 years. The animals took me up in frequency, up in frequency, up in frequency. Every animal is from the angelic realm. This allowed me to step into the reason why I'm here, which is to bring through this frequency, to be here today. Like I was saying to you before the call, they want to keep this super simple, because we are what we're seeking. We are it. And it's simple. And it's coming into the recognition of who you are, the love of who you are. You are this truly divine soul. They've taken me up into the realms where you're pure, pure white light. From this place, you can't even form a question, because there are no questions, because this is where you want to be. We are all that. And the more and more you allow yourself to be connected with yourself, the more and more you have. So I'm qualifying with them the whole time what they're asking me, how they want me to describe it. The more and more you have confidence in yourself, you have more clarity and you have greater peace. And this starts to raise actually your frequency and how you see yourself. And as you've raised how you see yourself, those heavy fear thought structures are too heavy to come up into that. And the more and more you're connected to yourself and you have this clarity, those thoughts are no longer there because you're residing in a different frequency. It is simple. It is super simple. And it's just about you allowing yourself to come to you and know who you are, the truth of you, and how you express yourself, and how. So I'm just asking them, get to know your residing frequency. And you can keep coming back into your residing frequency. You come back into your residing frequency. And then and this happened with me, when you're like, oh, this is lovely. Oh, I really like being here. And when you come out of it, because you're seeing something sparkly over there, and you're like, oh, this is feeling a bit like walking through tar or whatever. And you go, I don't want that. I want to come back into here. Oh, this is so much nicer. This is where you want to be. That's why it's so important to come into the truth of who you are. You, every single person is unique. I'm asking them, do you want me to say any more? And they're saying, that's fine.
That's beautiful, Fiona. There's so much in what you've been sharing, and so many people are commenting that just your voice and what you're holding is just opening them to receiving more of themselves. They're feeling the solar plexus, they're crying. It says that the attunement that's occurring in your conversation for all of us, it's profound. Something I want to go back to, and I want to get into Q&A because I want y'all to have an opportunity to ask Fiona questions. And by the way, Fiona, is part of her special offer, which we'll get into later, there's a 30-minute session with Fiona as part of the offer, and it's like ridiculously discounted. I'm surprised it came in that way. April, buy me one, please. I want another session with Fiona, please. And I'm going to take advantage of the special offer. When you shared that you were not feeling worthy of receiving the energy and you were resisting it and the unworthiness, we can all relate to that. I certainly can in different ways. And I've also come to understand that also overcoming, and for me, the selfishness of being in my unworthiness to deny a gift that has been given to me by someone who's so willing to freely give from what they have. It's like the gift that we give in receiving that love amplifies the giver in ways that we can't even begin to experience. How many times have y'all given something to someone and felt so filled up by it, have felt so energized, so amplified, so clear when you've given from that pure place of heart? So again, the understanding of the exchange and the circuitry that it ignites, it's profound. And it's always good to bring into consciousness, what am I denying the other who's so willing to give so freely? that I'm not recognizing the reference of what's being shared. So beautiful. And again, opening the simplicity of it, the simplicity of it. And we're going through shifts that are allowing us to view it and carry it in different ways. Fiona, I'd love to open up to Q&A now if you're ready. And again,
Yeah.
we'll flow in and out, y'all. Let's start with Sandra Wolf Pierce. Welcome to the call.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Hello, Fiona. So,
hello.
hello. So I think you probably may have answered this somewhat in what you've already said, but like so many of us on this call and in general have been on a spiritual path for quite a while. And you think you've released this and you've released that, but it still seems like worthiness is a theme that still seems to come back, maybe much smaller, less intense, but it still seems to linger. And I feel like you might have maybe the key or a way for us to maybe get to finally be able to release that entirely and not be part of our experience.
I'm just, it's taking my breath away, the love that's flowing to you. We do know each other, myself and Sandy, and there's a profound love that comes from the angelic realm to you. It's a profound love. Just allow yourself to receive these frequencies, these energies.
Mm.
They are saying you're more than worthy. You are more than worthy. Sandra Wolf Pierce, you are more than worthy. Allow yourself to consistently, and they're using that word very particularly, consistently to come into your heart. Take your consciousness, know your residing resident frequency. Your heart is the portal to your soul. You are a soul. You don't have a soul. You are this soul. You are this most extraordinary, beautiful white light that is connected to everything. And when you're there, there is, like we said earlier, no questions, because you realize the truth of who you are. And it's quite ridiculous to have even thought that you weren't worthy. They're saying, allow yourself, make it a practice to come into your heart and really know your residing frequency. Allow that to be your choice of frequency. It's so beautiful. We have a heart. We all have a heart. We have it for a reason. It's not just by chance. It's a phenomenal technology. It's our guiding light. I'm sure they're saying here, everybody on this call is looking at you, seeing this beautiful, beautiful woman, feeling the purity of her. And they're saying, how could she not think she's worthy? Allow yourself to look in the mirror. Look into your beautiful, beautiful eyes. The window to your soul. Allow yourself to see the truth of who you are. Tell yourself, I am beautiful. I am love. I am here to emanate the true frequency of me, so that not only will I feel it, but everywhere I go, they will feel it too. This is the truth of you.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you.
Blessings.
You're so beautiful.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. And by blessings, I mean I already see you as that, and that I'm hoping that you'll get there.
You can clearly see it, can't you?
Absolutely.
Clearly see it.
Thank you for bringing it in. Fiona, I'm curious, because we have that the direct emanation from source, that it's like the point of origin, if you will. And then everything else, it's a level beyond that. It's a form of separation from that. I would, and I get confirmation that this is true, but there's a but. That even the ascended master spirits coming in, there's always that connection that is driven to connect back into the entirety of the origin. So in that, we can interpret it as maybe being unworthy or not getting there, or why can't we finally end the separation? But it also feels like it's just a natural evolution that we go through in the experience of getting to know the divine within us. And I would assume that the ascended masters, the Yeshua, the Joseph, the angels have some version of that experience as well, even though we may not be able to comprehend it.
Yeah, particularly Yeshua, who have been in physical form. They know exactly where we're coming from. The angelic realm are just this phenomenal, pure divine. Oh, I'm just feeling it now. Frequency to emanate into you, the frequency that you are, if you allow yourself to receive it. One of the things that the angelic realm and have said to me in probably the last about 18 months, and it's a bit controversial.
I like it already.
Is there people are allowing themselves to go into higher frequencies to connect with themselves, and there's so many wonderful people out there that are taking people up into higher and higher frequencies, meditations, and the people are like, oh, but I feel really lightheaded or discombobulated and da 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 da. And it's like, ground yourself. And what the angelic realm have said is allow yourself to acclimate to this frequency that you've been seeking. Don't just suddenly bring yourself back down and ground yourself, anchor yourself in, lock yourself in, because you're trying to get here. You're wanting to be in higher frequencies and experience such beautiful reflections back to you at that frequency. And it does happen. Absolutely. But don't then take yourself out of it to ground yourself. The more you acclimate to it, the more you'll get used to it and you won't feel discombobulated. You're allowing yourself to get used to being in that frequency, and then it starts to become normal. This is why I spent 16 years, I now know, as an animal behaviorist, because every animal was taking me on a higher and higher frequency that enabled me to be where I am today, which is bringing through the angelic realm, eventually allowing Yeshua. And then it's not that they weren't there, but I had elevated my frequency so that I could seamlessly connect with them.
Beautiful.
And funnily enough, I hadn't really been one to ground myself. I'm not saying don't ground yourself, but allow yourself time to get used to being in the frequency.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And what you're speaking of truly, it's really daily lives, y'all, in different ways. And so many times we get affected by and influenced by the reason that we don't believe that we can do something, that we don't focus on why we can. Well, I can connect with the angels, or I can't this, or I can't have that. What is it can you that you can tune into yourselves as to why it is that you can? Be the 3, 4, 5-year-old that believes he can fly like Superman. Not telling you to jump off the building, but be in the energy of, but of course, and yes, and this is what I choose. Am I going to choose to believe that I'm limited and keep reinforcing that choice? Or am I going to choose to be in an energy of what my heart and body and soul are desiring? And that
Yeah.
can show up in creative ways. It can show up in very grounded ways. It can show up in very etheric ways as you ascend into energies. But it's really about choosing the relationship we want to have and nurturing and fostering that rather than fostering what we don't want. So, do I want to foster? Well, I'm not enough and I'm not worthy. Like Sandy, let's focus on, let me tell you why I am. Let me
Yeah.
demonstrate to myself exactly how I'm worthy. Look at my love. Look at what I'm emanating. Look how other people that it may not be directly from the person that I want it from that's not giving it to me. Well, welcome to your initiation,
Yes,
right?
very
But
much so.
all these other places and where it is true, that is validating because we're constantly being validated in whatever we're choosing to focus on.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful what comes through. Fiona, I want to get into your special offer because y'all, all of y'all need the opportunity to work with Fiona, especially at this price point. And it's just not a session. There's so much more that's in there. That this special offer is blowing me away. Um, we're going to get into more Q&A also. So y'all hang tight. There's some great questions that I want to address in the chat box. I want to call on all of y'all that are live. Of course, we won't be able to, but we'll have Fiona back. But we'll take some more live callers as well. Um, and let's go into special offer right now. If y'all click on the special offer link that is about to hop on the chat box, if you don't see it there already, um, there it is in the chat box, or you can click on the special offer button on the web page where you're listening to the call from. Um, and Fiona, guide us through what everybody receives in this package with you.
Well, it's a 30-minute session. And as you can qualify, a lot
Yeah.
comes through um, straight off the bat, basically. And I can't contain it. Like, um, so, and you'll get guidance. Because our human brain likes to have words to qualify and justify what's happening, but really it's the frequency that's flowing through. That's why I know it's been a good session when somebody cries, because they're feeling at a core soul level the truth of who they are. And it can be very, very emotional, and very profound. And it's they all go, hallelujah, 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 you know, like this. They're receiving it. They felt it. Because it's the truth of who you are. And it can, for some people, be the first time that they've ever felt it. And their cells are going like this. I've had many clients who have said, I've had to go and lie down afterwards, or my vibration, my whole body was vibrating, even for days afterwards. People have said they felt so elevated that they didn't even feel like they could hear themselves walking. It's very interesting. Anyway, so that's the 30-minute one-to-one private. And then I'm running a 2-hour workshop on the 1st of February, Saturday, the 1st of February, to enable people to come into their residing frequency. And from that residing frequency and knowing how they vibrate, how they receive the truth of what is their uniqueness, we'll then go into calling in the angelic realm. And I've put also angel guides, because they come in many, many different forms. I met an older gentleman in a car park, and I had a very profound experience with him. And it wasn't till afterwards that I went back to try and find him, that he was from the angelic realm. But he was a man with white hair and white beard. They come in many forms, and not necessarily how you're perceiving the angelic realm. I mean, Michael came. It was something like over a year later that I found out. I heard 2 women talking, and they were talking about Archangel Michael, and my body started vibrating. And I went, oh my God, it's Archangel Michael. That's who came to me, because that's why my body was responding. I didn't know of Archangel Michael, but he came in a white 3-piece suit. And it's allowing the way that you're going to receive, because they will give it to you. Your higher self, your soul, will give it to you in the way that you're most likely going to receive it, the best way that you'll receive it. Oh, that's what we were talking about, weren't we? And then there's 2 meditations. Both of them have been channeled. One is called The Star is Born, and it takes you up into the cosmos, allows you to feel the truth of you, how your bright light makes the stars brighter. And the second one, it's the whales taking you on a journey to be witnessed by the angelic realm. They woke me up during the night and took me on this profound. I was in the ocean with these sperm whales, and as you know, they will hang. It's like a suspended animation vertically. And I got taken to be in this circle of the sperm whales. And it was like a cathedral, and the emanations that were coming off that. And then we all started to lift up. And when we went through the surface of the water, we were instantly in the cosmos. And in this, the only thing I can say is this heavenly realm. And the whales were still there, but they faded back. And in front of me was this arc of angels. And I was being told, allow, and I was in suspended animation, and my arms went out to the side, and they said, allow yourself to be witnessed by the angelic realm. It was very profound.
Profound.
So that's the second meditation.
So y'all, this is all one package. You get all of this. And by the way, I paid full price. Well, I don't know if full price, but I know I paid a much higher price for just my session. So to get all of this for a 30-minute session, plus the 2-hour live workshop, plus these profound meditations, and to be immersed is her
It's
mind.
time to take a blue pill.
Um, it's just absolutely just beautiful what's available. It's $127, y'all, for all of this. 2 payment option. I highly recommend the gift of a session with Fiona. Most definitely. So I hope you all take advantage of that. And with that, Fiona, I'd love to get into some more Q&A. And I'm going to call on y'all of your hands up in a second, but I want to address this one question because, love, I so appreciate your response, and it's so many people have written in that I need to find it. Lindsay, thank you. So here we go. For someone who's been doing the spiritual and healing work for many years now, I still don't know the answer when people say, know the truth of who you are. I have an issue with that statement sometimes also. And I'll get my reasons why don't really matter at this point. How do you feel, or how do you find and know the truth of who you are so that you can truly experience it in your life?
Well, it's super simple.
Mm.
You have the technology, that we all have it, and it's connecting to your heart and connecting to your frequency. The more and more and more you do that, choose to do that, you will come to know the truth of you. It will become a profound knowing. Because when you connect here, so I'm just qualifying with them. So you are this enormous soul, consciousness, exquisite light. And you've having this tiny little experience. This heart portal connects you to this. And this, the more and more you connect to this, the more you come in and into your alignment. You live an aligned life. The angelic realm showed me quite a long time ago. You're going along this golden path, and it's like la 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 la. You're going along this golden path, and you're seeing something twinkly over there, and we spoke about it briefly earlier. You go to try and get to it, and it just doesn't. And then eventually, well, what the angelic realm are doing is going, no, get on your back on your path, get back on your path. You come back and you went, oh, it feels good here. And then there's something catching your eye over here. And you're like, oh, and they go, no, don't you even think about it. Nope, get back on your path. When it feels aligned, easy, and effortless, the more you allow yourself to come from this alignment of you, because you're connecting to this technology that you've been given. You've been given it for a reason. It is your compass. It is your truth. It is your unique frequency. It's not the same for every single person. The more and more and more you allow you to know you, those questions don't come up because you know the truth of who you are. You know your love. And one of the quickest, most accelerated way to do that most people do not allow themselves to do, and I was exactly the same. I couldn't look in a mirror. Absolutely no way could I look in a mirror. I tell you, if you allow yourself to look in the mirror and see how absolutely gorgeous you are, You are speaking directly to your soul. And every cell in your body is going, hallelujah, hallelujah. She can see me. She can see me. You're activating yourself. You're activating your technology. You're activating your uniqueness. Allow yourself that simple process. And don't always do it when you go into the bathroom to brush your teeth, because you're only giving yourself a few minutes. Get a mirror, go and sit on the couch or sit on your bed and prop the mirror up there and allow yourself this sacred you time where you look into your soul and you tell yourself the truth of who you are. You are love. You are compassion. You are joy. You are everything you're seeking is in here. It's allowing yourself to recognize it.
Beautiful. You know, we had a conversation earlier and you were sharing what the guides were bringing in, and I shared the analogy. It's like, you know, it's the ocean doesn't know how wet it is,
That's so good.
but it knows it's the ocean. And that's the thing. We don't need to know the qualifier for what we are. We can just know that we are. And in that knowingness, what becomes available, I'm getting the chills. Um, the portals, the doorways that we open for the receptivity of the love and the light that comes flooding and swarming towards us, it just continues this oceanic expansion that is being released in our receptivity, in our, again, knowing we are the ocean. And
Yeah.
the worthiness, the acceptance, the expansion, it all just, it gets swept away by these energies, by these, I can't even call them energies, y'all. The words just don't even begin to qualify what they are.
That's going to happen more and more and more.
Yeah.
What the angelic realm have shown me. I said to you earlier, before we came on the call, was that it was like the 1st of January, we were catapulted into this very fast frequency energy. And I've lost my train of thought. What did you want me to say? Just say that again. Sorry, John. Oh, you've frozen. Oh, John has frozen. Is everyone else frozen? Oh,
He was
hello.
talking about words.
Oh, hi there. Yeah. Oh, you've got to be super careful with the words, because every word has a frequency. And when you're saying any word, and if it's of a lower vibration, you have to run that vibration through you first. And your body doesn't know that you're expressing it out there. All your body knows is that you've just run that energy through yourself. The more and more you do mirror work and allow yourself to see the truth and feel the truth of you, when you say a word that is of a lower frequency, it kind of starts to jar you. And you're like, oh, I'm not using that word in my vocabulary anymore. You become pristine, they're saying. You become pristine. You become very conscious of how you want to treat yourself. And it will come down to the people you commune with, the foods you ingest. I know for myself, just coming into January, there's been quite a lot of foods that my body just says, no, that's not resonating. I'm desiring to eat foods that are very clean, foods that contain a higher content of water. My drinking water is, I'm finding that I'm a lot more thirsty. One of the things that you must bear in mind as well is to take electrolytes and minerals, because we are in an accelerated time. And it is, the more and more you connect with yourself, the more and more you want to treat yourself with love and respect. And then this emanates out to everybody. The more you see them, the more you love and respect them. When I started to work with the animals, I started working as an animal behaviorist and was working with dogs initially. And I started to have a profound love for dogs. And they said, well, we're love on legs. And we are here to reflect to you who you are. And I didn't realize how I couldn't connect to myself. Animals taught me so much. If you have the chance to walk a dog, interact with a friend's dog, go to your local rescue centre and be with dogs, they will take you up into higher and higher frequencies. And one of the things that the Angelic realm brought to my attention, and they want me to share, is that it's often said that you can't love another until you love yourself. Well, that's a fallacy. It's not true, and it is said a lot. You profoundly love your child. You might not love yourself, but you profoundly love your baby. You profoundly love your dog. And they are giving you the experience of the truth of who you are. Everything in the animal world have told me this. Everything here is for us to realize who we are. And I get, and they're doing it now, these like what I'd say tickles inside of me that make me giggle at the really the profound, when you have raised in frequency and you're allowing these, and everyone can do it. I'm not special. I'm just meant to be here to do it, to talk to you, to show you how you can do it. But every animal, every tree, every butterfly, every bird, every fish, every star, everything is to show you who you are. And in this accelerated time, we are going to be coming into profound knowings of who we are. And more people will be getting these tickles inside because they will be giggling at the truth of who they are.
Beautiful. Fiona, can we go on to another caller?
Yes, please.
Let's go. Mark, welcome to the call.
Oh, hello. So good to see you, Fiona.
Hello, Mark.
I've played in her energy many times, so I can totally second everything you said, John. She's amazing. And although this is my first time being in your group, I can tell you, even though being outside of your group, I can see the repercussions or the effects of the work that you're doing. I mean, they're flowing out in waves across various communities and stuff. And so, yeah, so I second what both of you said to each other. Anyway, so when I was back years ago doing deep shadow work and stuff, the most traumatic aspect of it was a past life experience where I was a knight. And then years later, I was playing in channel with somebody, and Knights Templar came up, which I had maybe seen it in a movie or something, but I had no conscious knowledge of that, and I went and I looked it up, and it was like a Christian military order, and I saw, oh, it's kind of a knight and a monk, and I practiced Japanese Zen, so the monk thing resonated with me, and I thought, oh, so this is cool. So maybe this knight that I was that did these horrible things, wasn't such a horrible person after all, and maybe really had a belief that he was doing good, although, the actions were not things that I agreed with, at least in my memory of the past life. And so then I come on today, and I kind of let that go, but I come on today, and then the Knights Templar, you mentioned it again, so it's coming up for me again, and I know that, it's all my reality, everything is happening for me, so prompted me to go ahead and ask Fiona, Knights Templar, that's something so is there something there for me, or is this just a prompt for me to just talk to you in general?
Just go into yourself and ask yourself the truth of that, because they're saying you don't need our confirmation.
Yeah.
They're emanating such a love to you. You have profound energy. They're showing me you holding the sword of truth. You cannot live any other way than what your heart is telling you to do. And this has been in all lives, if you wish to talk about past lives, parallel lives. I'm just asking them what's coming through. You have such a deep love. It's such a blessing to have the quality of emanation that's coming off you from a male in physical form at this time. You're very much like John. Your frequency, because you are in a physical form and a male, is so profoundly needed, because there's so many men who will not allow themselves to, see themselves. And you have searched and seeked to know the truth of you with your sword, you cannot do anything else. You are one of the most beautiful, divine males that I have ever met, and we have met in America. The emanation that comes from you, these words are being told to you profoundly. They really, really want you to receive and absorb what's being said to you. Allow your heart, that's it, can feel, absorb these frequencies coming and flowing to you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mark.
Receiving there on a soul level.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, Mark, as you bask in this, and thank you for sharing and bringing this up, and even the perhaps the judgment of what came through a past life. But this also takes me back to our conversation as to remember who you are. Because also in our physical incarnation and the way that we've been enculturated, we also take on stories that aren't necessarily the truth of who you have been in the past as well. And I love how Fiona took you into tune into yourself, into your truth. You know it. And the space that created for you to see outside of the perspective of what's been fed to you, to be into the truth of the emanation of what is guiding you. It's a catapult into giving ourselves the reverence and the permission and the devotion to be the love that we truly are. And with that comes tremendous power. Thank goodness. Goodness. Thank you, Mark.
Your words are so profound, John.
I'm just riding the wave, Fiona. The energy that you're bringing through and all that, it feels like home, doesn't it, y'all? Doesn't it feel like it's lifting you up also, like you're in this other space?
The truth of you.
It just feels so nurturing and natural to be in. So amazing. All right, let's go to another caller. Victoria, welcome to the call. And blessings to you, Mark.
Oh, hi, and thank you so much, both of you. It's really a beautiful, amazing call. I just wanted to ask about cleaning. I feel like a superhero Marvel character, the cleaner. Every time I feel who I am, I have another whole lot of inner and outer clearing to do. And the clearing feels bigger than the base of when I'm me. I feel who I am, and then I go into there's another massive outer and inner clearing going on. So my question is, and I understand the clearing and cleaning comes up when we feel who we are, these deeper, more difficult things need to surface and leave. But how much cleaning? How can I want to be a bit more me and a bit less cleaning?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. They're really, really wanting to say that you are really lovely, really beautiful, so soft and so gentle. You have a divine grace about yourself. And the more you search for things to clear, to clean, the more you will continue to search for them, because that is your reality. That's what you're choosing to do. The more you allow, just let this frequency flow to you. It's very strong. Oh, this is strong, strong, strong. Wow. The more you allow yourself to feel the truth of who you are, which is this most beautiful, gentle. You have a grace about you, a beautiful grace. Allow that to emanate from you. Allow that to become you. Allow that for you to know this is the reason why you're here, is to emanate this for others to receive too. Allow you to become full of the frequency of the truth of who you are. From this residing frequency, you won't even think about needing to clear, because you will just be you. You do have an exquisite softness about yourself. And they are saying there are many people that tell you this. And there are many more people that want to feel this from you. Allow yourself to blend in with the frequency of what you already innately are. You are divine. You are grace. And you have such a joy in your heart that so wants to be expressed more and more and more. Your smile is divine. Just you smiling, then your whole energy blossomed. Everyone here on this call blossomed because you were no longer so serious. Allow yourself to blend with the truth of who you are. Heed these words, because we speak only truth.
Blessings, Victoria. So beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, open to receive, open to receive. Fiona, I want to comment on something that Mark wrote, and I'd love for you to elaborate on it. Are you okay if we run a little bit over, because we're going at 90 minutes and I'm not ready to stop, as long as you're okay.
Yeah, fine.
Amazing. So Mark chided, and John's just always channeling, and a lot of love. It was in reference to one of the comments, and thank you for that, Mark. And I want to qualify that more. It's because yes, I'd consider it channeling as well, but I'm discovering a different relationship or a new relationship and a perspective. And yes, I'm channeling, but what I'm doing is I'm loving. What I'm doing is I am love. I am being love. Who I am channeling is love. Where I am channeling is from love. Why I'm channeling is because of love. And I've given myself the authority, which only I could give to myself, to channel that love without an expectation of how it's supposed to be reciprocated. Of course, I have my human moments. And I have standards and discernment as well, because there is a reverence in which that is to be held. But when you come to know who you are, you understand that at such a humble, masterful level. And there's still so much more to learn, and so much more to open to, and so much more to attend to. But it's the access to the path that we've all been seeking that's been right in front of us. And I'm curious, Fiona, what your experience is with that interpretation of channeling and what the guides may have to share to bring in even more of an amplification of a truth there is there, and also, of course, shed any light into wherever there could be a misinterpretation of the essence that is shared in that love.
Thank you again for sharing that. It's been felt and heard on many levels here in this group and anyone who listens to the recording, because that is truth. But one of the reasons why, before we came on the call, I said to you, they don't want me to close my eyes and go into channel. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they wanted to show that this is super simple. And I'm talking to them seamlessly, qualifying. Do you want me to say it like this, this, and this? The more you, like you have come into the truth of who you are, knowing who you are, you're blending seamlessly with your soul's essence. The more you're elevating, you're blending and coming into frequency, and you're talking to yourself. You are bringing through your consciousness, your soul, your wisdom, your soul's wisdom knows absolutely everything. And in that beautiful expanded place, there are these other beautiful beings. But they have said to me, there will be a time that you'll feel the angelic realm or you'll feel Yeshua, but you won't be necessarily talking to them because you won't need to, because you'll be in such an expanded state of awareness that you are talking to yourself, bringing your wisdom through. And as you so eloquently said, knowing yourself as love, and that pure divine frequency. And that's why we have, so I'm just asking them here, that's why we have this heart, this technology. That is love. Everything is by design. Nothing is by coincidence. And it's just coming back into the awareness of the truth of what we have. How you said it then was perfect. Because yes, you can label it channeling if you want to label it channeling, but they actually want to come away from that so that it's so normal. Quite often when people say, oh, and I've got to go and channel that, it's creating the separation from ourselves. It's creating a label, and they're really wanting it to come across that when you are in alignment, when you do know your true frequency, it's seamless communication. And that's when I first started to channel in 2019. My eyes felt like they were great big swollen balls, and it would take me a while to get into it, and then even longer to come out of it, and I'd be really all over, and I'd have to go and lie down. I don't know. Now, as you can see, it's seamless. We are all able to do this, and you have just proven that you are, and you're not labeling it channeling. You are talking from your core truth.
And even in the channeling, if you will, if there is a direct desire to go in and to tune in, it's what we're tuning into is like, oh, let me connect with love that I know is available. And the emanations of the apostles of Jesus, of Mary Magdalene, of versions of the Knight Templars that came in demonstrating the mastery that they've accumulated through their experiences to share from that overflow of us is what we're connecting to, linking up to, and then riding those waves so that we can translate for one another to remind us of what's available and that bounty that has been accumulated through these great sages and ancestors and teachers and divine ones along the way, which, by the way, include you. So it's profound what's coming through. I'm just loving the energy in the conversation, say, Fiona. Can we take one more last question?
Absolutely. Yeah,
We're running over, y'all, but it's the energy on here is just so amazing. It just wants, I feel like it wants to seep in just a little bit more deeply. Before we take the next caller, y'all, remember the special offer with Fiona for that price point. It's wow. 30 minutes, a 2-hour live call on February 1st, which, by the way, you don't have to show up live to participate in any of the offer. I'm sure the recording, there will be a recording of the live call. You can schedule your session in, and of course, you'll get the 2 meditations. The whale meditation had me just like, I was vibrating when you were talking about it. Of course, I'm right here, a block and a half by the ocean, and it's whale season, so that was amplified for me. But again, the link for the special offer, click on it on the webpage where you're watching from, or find the link in the chat box, or if you're watching the replay on the YouTube channel, find the link in the comments. And the replay will run a little bit later. You can always access replays on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. And with that, let's go to, I want to call on everybody, y'all. It's like my heart's like breaking because I can't call on everybody. I really want to. But Karen, I'm going to go to you now. Welcome to the call.
Thank you so much, John and Fiona.
Mm.
This has been kind of interesting, I mean, in many ways for me, because just earlier this week, I had an experience that was phenomenal. My heart burst so wide open, it actually hurt. And it was a call that involved a gentleman who was nonverbal on the spectrum. And I just wondered if there is any clarification or anything that, the angels can offer in regards to that.
Well, you've just had an angel go out of camera, your cat.
Oh, yes.
Very, very high frequency cats are. they do want me to say that the reason why cats sleep a lot is because they're so high frequency, it's actually quite a lot of effort for them to be in physical form.
Oh.
They are all knowing. There is a reason why they strut around, if you like, because they know exactly who they are. And they are alchemizing the energies in your home and in your neighborhood. They are here for a purpose. And your cat will sit on your lap and purr to remind you of the frequency of who you are.
He's just crying just now.
He's confirming is what. Oh, there he is. He's having a look. Oh, how divinely timed. Yeah. Hello. As soon as you came on, the angelic realm were like, because you are very high frequency from the angelic realm. And that profound experience you had was opening up your heart to receive even higher levels of the truth of who you are. What they're saying is, you believed you received a profound gift. What that divine being was doing was enabling you to see and feel the truth of who you are. But it enabled you to give him a gift. Because when you got into that frequency, he could then feel that frequency as the truth of who he is. Very often when people start to allow this area to hold more energy, it can be painful. You, like you said, expanded and expanded.
Oh, yeah. And the expansion of him was just, I mean, so phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah.
You are so beautiful. There's emanations flowing to you. And they're honoring you, thanking you for all that you do. They're asking for you to recognize all that you do. Wow, you're starting to glow. The truth of these words. You are here to emanate from the angelic realm. You hold a very high angelic frequency. We speak only truth. This is why you're here. But the most important thing is to recognize who you are. Allow yourself to believe who you are. Go back into that frequency regularly and allow yourself to acclimatize to that frequency. They're saying, don't ground yourself. Allow yourself to become familiar. Allow this. You've been given a gift, a profound gift. You're emanating more and more as we talk. And you're realizing the truth of what happened and who you are. Go into the frequency of that. Look at yourself in the mirror in the frequency of that. And they're saying, you will become pure white.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You are truly, truly angelic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Blessings, Karen.
Thank you very much.
Lovely to feel you on today's call.
Thank you.
Being
It was
here with
my pleasure being able to join in.
us. Mhm.
You guys are amazing.
Yes, we all are. Yes, we all are. Wow.
Thank
Fiona. Fiona. All of y'all, it's as we wrap up today's call, my wish for you is that you carry what you're feeling in the essence of this call and this vibrational state that's been offered here with you for the rest of your day. That you just swim in it and bask in it and play in it and share in it freely with whoever you're inspired to share it with. Such an amazing call. Fiona, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Your time,
Our pleasure.
energy, your devotion, your humility, your mastery, your sincerity, for being willing to walk in the truth of who you are. It's a blessing to be with you. Y'all,
Thank you.
the special offer link, y'all, I apologize, Fiona. The special offer link's in the chat box. It's on the page. We'll send out a link afterwards. Get that session. The replay will come up. And again, Fiona, thank you again for being on here. Is there a final message that you want to leave for everybody as we end?
What's flooding through is profound love.
Mm.
Profound love for everybody on this call. Profound love for anyone who will listen to this recording. The frequencies flooding through me to all of you. Oh, it's making me teary. Is for you to recognize, allow these frequencies to imbue your being. Allow your cells to be tickled as they dance in the recognition of these frequencies that are the truth. They are the truth. You are the truth of you. Thank you, John. Thank you for the profound gift that you are.
Mm.
You are pure love.
Right back at you, dear sister. Right back at you. Namaste. Namaste to the guides, to you, Fiona, to everybody listening, to everybody in the replay. I love you guys. I look forward to seeing y'all on the next call. Bye, everybody.